Hello everyone, this is Jamerica5288, and guess what? All I've had to eat today or drink is coffee and a couple of little cherry tomatoes that I have. So I've been watching all these Cajun recipes and whatnot. And one thing that I had while I was where was I? I was near Alexandria in a place called Marksville, Louisiana. And the lady that I visited called Medea, it was her daughter. Her daughter made something called shrimp étouffée. So I'm gonna try to replicate it. Let's get to it. Let's go out there and pick some vegetables and bring them back in and see what we can do. I think I got all the ingredients, but shrimp étouffée is on the menu. Let's get to it. I am not Cajun. I am not Creole. My family is West Indian, but you know what? If you could cook, you could cook, right? So for those of you older from Louisiana, don't judge me. Do not judge me. Let's get our little basket and let's go out there and find out what ingredients we have. Now, I know I don't have enough celery, but I'm still going to try to make some shrimp étouffée. I know it's not going to be as good as Medea's, the lady I visited in Marksville, Louisiana, but you know what? I'm trying. That's all I could do. Shrimp étouffée. Let's get to it. First, I've had a conversation with Mr. Rudy. He's in there. I'm gonna let him have his freedom, but if he starts making noise again, back to jail he goes. I'm trying to keep this rooster, but it's not working out. And he was beating out white yesterday. He's a bantam rooster, and he was chasing that big old white chicken over there. I was like, what kind of lily-livered scaredy cat white rooster are you? Now, I like white because white don't make no noise. But this little joker in here, watch him come out and strut his stuff. It closed on him. He is mean. He's a meanie. He's a meanie. Look at him going over there to start some stuff already. Look how little he is. And he beats up white. Anyway, let's go out there and pick our stuff. Enough of the chicken drama. Let's go and see what we got. What we're gonna look for is some okra. I already went and picked out some okra this morning, but I think I may have left a couple of them. We have them in several spots. Oh, yeah. There's one hiding on me. You gotta twist them off. I got my scissors with me, but I'm just gonna twist up. I know that this doesn't go in shrimp étouffée. I know. But I'm gonna put some in there anyway. You know why? Because I like okra. Now let's go around the gazebo and go to the onions. I don't have any garlic growing, but I'm gonna use the garlic that's in the refrigerator that I've had for a while. I do have onions though. I have onions growing. And a couple of them look like they were almost ready. So let's look over here at these onions and see if I could pull a big one out for you. There's one. There's an onion. Okay, got a couple of other ones that I've already picked. Put that in there. What else do I need? The Holy Trinity is onions, celery, and bell peppers. So let's look and see if I have any bell pepper. I already have some that I picked a couple of days ago, but I'll see if I can pick some for you. Just for the sake of this video, all of the stuff in the house, or most of the stuff, is homegrown. This goes in there. This is my thyme. So we're gonna pick some of that. There we are. That's thyme right there. Got it from this plant right here. Thyme. Oh, it smells. I love thyme. So that goes in there. All right, what else do we need? We need oregano. I have Mexican oregano. I didn't forget about the bell peppers. I think they're fighting already. I didn't forget about the bell pepper. There's a small one on here. I don't want that one. Oh, I found a big one. All right, I got a bell pepper. Picked it from this plant. There we go. Bell pepper. That's in the bucket. All right. I know that habaneros don't belong in there. I know you're supposed to use cayenne pepper, but I may use habaneros because I have them, although I do have some cayenne pepper. Now, this is what I've been hiding from the sun. The celery that I have. And It's not a lot. Something has been biting it too. It's not a lot. There's only 6 of them, but I'm gonna cut off. Oh gosh, I dragged my time up out of the thing. I'm gonna get a couple of them off. I have some dried up celery. I don't have any celery in the house, so just gonna cut a few of them off. They're not big celery stalks. I know, don't talk about me, but I am trying. These things, celery, can grow up to 3 feet tall. So long as I could get them through this Texas summer, they should be good to go. They'll be around for a while, because I will bring them in the house. All right. Ooh, I can smell them. I can smell them crying. Just taking a couple of leaves off. Putting them in my little pail. You know, they want sun, but the sun, I'll take them out. I'll put them in, give them some sun later on this afternoon. This one is getting sun, you could tell. I just watered them, so the soil is a little bit moist, thank goodness. Maybe I should switch. I'm gonna switch this one out and put this one in the back. How about that? My dear celery. I need you to grow for me because I like celery, especially if it's fresh. Okay, so I got that. Jamaica. Whew. All right, one more thing I need to get, and that is green onion. So one more thing I need to get is green onion, and that's regular onion right there. This is green onion. I'm gonna grab a couple of sprigs off of this. See, there you go. He don't like his freedom. He does not like his freedom. He's just trying me with his big mouth. Okay, so we're gonna get some oregano and then we'll be back in the house. Garlic, I did not grow. So, this oregano is, man, it's going to seed, but I'll get a little bit of it from over here. I put it under the spigot to gather some of the water from the spigot when I water, because it drips, so I might as well get something out of it, right? I'm trying to get you straight. Okay, I know you see the pillow, but the oregano is right there. And I'm gonna snip off a couple of them. It fell down. How about this? Break it off. Can't be so bothered. Just break off a couple pieces. There we are. So I have Mexican oregano here. I have some more in the house. Okay, where did I put my basket? I'm like Little Red Riding Hood, walking around with these big old scissors. All right, here is my basket. That rooster is not paying attention to the message I'm trying to send him. So he's gonna end up back in prison, maybe in a few minutes. Let's get in the house. So let me go over the list of ingredients. You could either use Slap Your Mama. I might use both. I'll probably use both. Slap Your Mama or Zanarans or any Cajun seasoning of your choice. I prefer Slap Your Mama. There's also Creole Kick, which is pretty good. So that's one. Or you could mix your own seasoning by using garlic powder, onion powder, white pepper, cayenne pepper, paprika, and black pepper. All right. I also did not have enough celery here, so I got the little sprigs of celery and the celery salt that I made. I also have some fresh thyme and fresh Mexican oregano over here. So I also have garlic, which is going to be one of the last things we add, and then the Holy Trinity. Everybody knows about the Holy Trinity for Cajun food. It is bell pepper, onion, and this is my measly celery that I have here. So let's get first thing we need to do is, because all of this stuff is fresh and it's dirty, I'm gonna wash all of this stuff off, all of the fresh stuff off from the garden. And I'm gonna wipe my counter down because all this dirt, see the dirt from the onions? All the dirt got on the counter. So I'm gonna go ahead and clean all this stuff up and then we'll get to it. I got everything all cleaned up. But I just don't wanna miss anything. So let's do a roundabout look at what's going on. I have in this bowl, right here, I have my bell pepper, my onion, my green onion, and here is my celery. Here are the tomatoes that are going in the étouffée. I got some slap your mama, some shrimp. If you could get fresh shrimp, go ahead and do that. I know it's hard to get someplace. This is fresh thyme and fresh oregano. I have garlic here, fresh garlic. This is not the only one of the few things that I don't have fresh besides the shrimp. Most of this stuff came from my garden, like all of this. All of this right here is from my garden. Then I have paprika, cayenne pepper, white pepper, onion powder, garlic powder, flour, bay leaf, and black pepper. I don't think I forgot anything, but if I did, forgive me, all right? Oh, and you might need salt because I made my own celery salt. I don't need salt because there's salt in the celery, okay? So we're gonna get to it. I know that I don't have enough celery for those people who are from Louisiana, but I'm doing the best I can. My celery just didn't take off yet. So I'll just have to wait and be patient. So the first thing we're gonna do is we are going to shell devein our shrimp. That is because we need the shells to make our stock. Now let me wash my hands off a little bit. So I have 2 pots here, and what I'm gonna do is I need to shell these shrimp. I'm gonna make 2 quarts of stock. So I'm taking my shrimp, make sure they're all right. I don't trust anything. All right, I'm taking my shrimp shells off. I don't have the shrimp heads. I know that it would be better if I had the heads. And I'm gonna put that in my stock pot, which is right here. Move everything else out the way. I'm gonna take my shrimp because we have to devein these shrimp, but I'm gonna put them to the side for now, okay? Take my shell off. Separate them. We need the shells to make our stock. So I'll get back with you once I get all these shells off, and then we'll I'll show you putting. I'm gonna put 2 quarts of water in there, but I'll show you that in a second once I get all these shells off. So I'll be right back. Just a sec. Okay, I've got all of my shrimp shells in here. I have not deveined the shrimp yet. This is 1 quart. I'm just trying to get all the flavor I can into this pot. Let me get another quart. Where's my cups? And 4 cups equals 1 quart. So I'm gonna get 4 more cups of water. Okay, and here is our 2nd quart. To this, I am going to add the oregano and the thyme that I pulled out of the yard. And what else am I gonna put there? I'm gonna put a little bit of cayenne pepper in here, just a shake. Put some paprika in here. This is not open, just a second. I have so many seasoning that I don't know which one I used or which one I did. This one's open. And I'm using smoked paprika. Regular paprika does not have a taste, in my opinion. So, there's some paprika, about 3-4 shakes. So what did I use already? Black pepper. I got 4 bay leaf. I dropped 1 and I'm gonna drop that in the pot. Everything going into the pot. I got some garlic powder. Let me shake it. I like garlic. So that's about a 1/2 teaspoon. Nah, it's not half. It's maybe a 1/4 of a teaspoon. I got some onion powder. Now, onion powder, it always gets stuck. Onion powder always gotta cause me a problem. There we go, a little bit, 1/4 teaspoon. Now, you know with regular cooking, measurements are kind of to taste. That's a little bit of white pepper, right? I have it all in the pot. Let me give it a stirry. And we are going to boil this. I think I'm going to put another cup of water in here. We're going to boil this for an hour to an hour and a half. There we go. This goes on the stove uncovered for an hour to an hour and a half. Leave it there. While that's going, I'm going to throw my bag out and I'm going to get this place cleaned up. We're going to clean the shrimp, get this deveined, because these are they're not deveined. They're not clean. So we're going to clean them. Okay? And I'm back. So what we need to do is get the veins out of here. So you're going to open the rib cage and you're going to see a little, let me bring you closer. You don't need to see me. You need to see this because you need to get this stuff out. The nastiness. All right. You see that? You need to get that out. And you need to cut it all the way to the tail. And you think you're through, right? No, you're not. So you get that little vein out. This. Right there. You get that out. Make sure there's none left. Then you turn it over to the other side, right? Because there's two sides to this thing. Two sides. Don't miss one. Don't miss out on one side. Always check the bottom half and see if there's anything in there. Okay, it's white, but I'm pulling it out anyway. Okay? You get it out of both sides. Let me do it again for people in the back. So I'm going to do the belly side first. We're going to check and make sure there's nothing in here. I think they already cleaned this side, right? But they did not get the ones over here. So you go through, you cut it, slit it open, right? You check in there to make sure that thing, sometimes they purge them, sometimes they don't. This one apparently got purged. You see that? Purging your shrimp or purging your shellfish means that you stick it in clear water until all of the bad stuff comes out. Do it again. So I'm going to cut the back of the shrimp, and I'm going to cut the belly of the shrimp to make sure I'm not eating any extra protein. See there? Nothing's in there. You check and make sure that that little black line that I pulled out, this stuff right here, you make sure there's none of that in there. So we're checking it. They apparently purged these, but they didn't purge that one well enough. That one held on to some stuff. One more time. We're going to go and we're going to cut the belly open. Looks like these bellies have already been cut open, right? And then we're going to go to the back end. You're going to split that open and check. See? Look at that. There it is. You want to get that out. Get that out. See how I'm pulling it out? There it is. See that? You don't eat that. You do not want to eat that. Let me hold it and put it on the board. You see that? I pulled it out. I think you get the drift. So I'm going to do the rest of this and I'll be right back with you. Thank you, Jesus. I'm down to the last two. My hands are shriveling up like a prune. You see all this junk I'm pulling out of there? Look at that. Look in there. You got to take that out. Then you got to check the belly, the other side, to make sure there's none there. So, and you have to do it or you won't be able to eat this shrimp. If you don't like doing this, buy deveined shrimp. And then hope they did a good job. Me, I don't trust nobody, so I did it myself. So I got all the nastiness out. Got one more in here. I'm just splitting it all the way down. You see it? If you don't see it, let me pull it and let you see it. This one broke up. Great. Pull all that out. See that? I'm gonna turn it around. I'm gonna check the other side. Oh, there it is. See that? I'm gonna check the other side. Make sure it's clean. Okay, so I have them in some water. I have my stock going. It's been going for about 30 minutes. Look how good that looks. Look at that beautifulness. We're gonna strain that off, but we're gonna go ahead and put this in the refrigerator, and I'm gonna wait another, well, I'll be cutting up the rest of the vegetables while this stuff is cooking. So let's get to it. Okay, let's mix our seasoning up, right? So I'm gonna get some pepper. This is a 1/4 teaspoon of black pepper. All right, come on, I want a good one. That's done. About 1/8 of a teaspoon of white pepper. Now this thing is dirty, so I have to get another one. Where's my other? 1/8 of a teaspoon of white pepper. 1/8 of a teaspoon of red pepper. It's gonna be hot, huh? These to the side. Garlic. I'm gonna do a teaspoon of garlic. Half a teaspoon of onion. It's all bunched up together, so I'm gonna break it up. Half of a teaspoon of onion. A teaspoon of celery salt. This one's dirty. Pepper's getting to me. Okay. Paprika, I'm gonna do a teaspoon, but I want to need a clean spoon. There we go. So we got that all mixed up. I need my cloth. I don't have my cloth here. Got that all mixed up. I'm gonna get a little teaspoon. And I'm gonna mix those together. Now, you can, oh, you can't see me. Who says you can't taste your seasoning mix? Because I did this in school. I would mix my own seasoning up because we didn't have stuff like this in culinary art school. You had to make your own. So it's better to learn to make your own because sometimes you can't get that stuff. You can't get the ready-made one, which is, you know, I'm going to use some of this also because I like Slap Your Mama. But, you know, we need to learn to make our own mixed seasoning. Now remember, the celery salt has salt in it, so I do have salt in this mixture. If you have celery seed or anything, you don't have to put the celery salt in there. That's just because I don't have celery. I'm putting extra in there. So I'm gonna take a little tip, put it in my hand. Need some more cayenne. And garlic. Which one had garlic on it? This one. Now you're doing this to your taste. I'm putting about 1/2 teaspoon of that in there. because I taste mostly paprika when I tasted it. Let me go and get some thyme and some oregano and put it in here. Oregano and it took me a second to find this. There's some oregano. Put that in there. It's about a quarter teaspoon. Then I got thyme. Put that in there. Mix it back up. Look at that, isn't that pretty? I may have made too much, but if I did, I'll put it in a little jar and I'll use it on another recipe. I still smell the paprika, the smoked paprika. I may have put too much in there. Put some in my hand. Little bit more thyme. Be careful with your dried seasoning. They're stronger than the fresh one. Okay? Put a little bit more oregano. Just for good measure. This stuff is not hot and it's not salty. So let me compare this to this. Clean my palette off. Put some in my, wait a minute. Clean the hand off. To clean the floor anyway. I put too much. Way saltier. Ooh, way saltier. That one, the one I made, tastes better. Sorry, slap your mama, but this is really salty. I don't have as much salt in here. So we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna cut up our vegetables in a second. I'm gonna throw this in the sink and wash my hand. And we're gonna make our roux, okay? Just a sec. Okay, the thing with Cajun food is that you need to, or in my opinion, get all your vegetables done way ahead of time because you're not gonna have time. Once you may start making that roux, you ain't gonna have time for no half-stepping. Ain't no half-stepping, no. All right, so we're gonna cut this onion up. This is one of the fresh ones that I got from the garden. They say that you should use sweet onion, but this is what I had. And you know what I say, right? Use what you got. This is, no, I'm not gonna use that. I'm just gonna use the good part of the onion. That is a little stringy to me. Fresh onion, though, it's different. It's different. It's firmer than the one that I, you know, the one that's been through the mill and in the supermarket for at least a month and a half. Fresh onion don't cut the same. It's probably stronger. I hope I don't start crying because you know how I am. I will boo-hoo on you in a second. This knife is not big enough. Ooh, here it come, here it come. Let me get a bowl. Woo-hoo! Jesus Christ. All right, here we go with the tears. The crying tears. Why do you always cut the onion first, girl? Why? You haven't learned your lesson yet? Get another knife. Woo! Woo! Lord have mercy. So that's done. I'm gonna have the red eye in a second. Oh, that over there. You stay over there where you belong. Let me wash this board off and wipe my tears. All right. Tears, tears, falling like the rain. What was that, Force MDs? I don't remember who they were. All right, I'm gonna do this because I touched it, so. Almost. No seeds. There was a chef that we at the school who said if he found a seed in his food, he would automatically give you an F. I was like, really? He never gave anybody an F, but he was very adamant about making sure you chopped your vegetables up. Now, peppers, fresh pepper, just chopped up your vegetables and make sure you clean it properly. There goes a seed. Fresh bell peppers are a lot easier to chop up. They are a lot easier. They crunch up like a potato chip. Look at that. My eyes are wet. My nose is running. That onion was like, you know what? You better look out for me. Waited to get a load of me. Okay, my bell pepper is done. This is a little bit of celery that I had. I might go out there and pick a couple more stems because I'm using everything, the leaf and all. That is maybe one celery stalk. That's what it equated to. One celery. Oh, it's strong though. Maybe it'll do because I could smell it. Maybe I don't need to pick anymore. That's the Trinity right there. The Holy Trinity. Now, you know they talk about, I'm not sacrilegious. They say the Father, Son, and the Holy Ghost, right? Or the Holy Spirit. This is the tip. This is what sets it off. After a while, I'm going to put this in a separate bowl. I'll be right back to wash my hands, wipe my tears, and get a separate bowl. Okay, I went outside also and I got some more celery stalks. Well, not even stalks, celery babies. But I'm gonna first cut these up. You need to leave. Get. She's always choosing to make noise when I'm in here trying to cook. Or cooking. I'm not trying because I know I could cook. That's one thing I know. I know that I know what I know I know. You know how I know? Because I've been doing it since I was a little itty bitty chick. What do they call it? Little bitty chickadee. Or pick-me. That's what they call them in Jamaica. Pickaninny or pick-me. Where the pick-me them? That's a horrible name for kids, but when I first heard it, I was like, what? Ain't no pickaninny. Pick-me? What? You and your pick-me them. Mama used to, when she got mad, she used to say, pickaninny. That did not sound like a nice word to me, but that's what they called it. Okay, my garlic is chopped up. I did not get my bowl, and I'm stuck. Get a little glass bowl. I've been breaking these little glass bowls left and right. I keep on going back and getting them. You think I would have learned by now, but I like glass. Glass just don't like me. Sorry, I had a little disturbance I had to take care of. Rudy is back in a little pet carrier, excuse me. And he is not happy. But I'm not happy either when he keeps making that noise. And then he sets off the other rooster. It's like one after another. The white one don't make no noise unless he does it first. All right. Chop up the celery. And Cyrus wants to eat him. Cyrus wants to eat him so bad. All right, so does Philomena. She ain't nice. I caught her trying to get into that coop. Caught her, red-handed. I was looking out the window. She didn't know I could see her. And she had that look on her face like, if a dog could open his mouth, and she would have did it. I banged on that window. You should have saw that dog's eyes get wide, like, oh my God, oh my God, oh no. Lord have mercy. She saw me. What is she gonna do to me? All I did was bring her in the house and make her go lay down somewhere. All right, this is not the right milk. Here it is. These fresh onions are different. They don't cut the same. This is nice. I'm gonna start crying again now. It's a nice onion there. Keep the root, throw it back in the bowl. I'm not gonna use that red onion. What happened? You got a little bit of root there, Jamaica. What's up with that? What's up with that, girl? Nobody wants to eat that. All right. I didn't mean to put the celery in. Well, it's okay. It's the Holy Trinity right there. That is the Trinity right there. So I'm going to wash this off. I'm going to move this garlic out the way. Oh, I got one more piece of onion here. So I might as well use it, huh? All of these are from the garden. They're fresh. Fresh. You saw me pick them. So let me use it since I picked it. It's a little baby onion. Look at that. Help me. I wasn't ready. You're going to a good cause, honey. This is what you were born for. Ouch. Shoot, I almost got myself. Cut this little thing off. The root part. There we go. All right. Perfect. All right. Let me get these onions away from me, wipe this board, and my tears again, and then we'll cut up the tomatoes, okay? All right. Time for the tomatoes. I've already washed them. Just need to cut them up. And these are from the garden. Some of them are regular Roma tomatoes that I grew, and other ones are cherry tomatoes. Tomato is a tomato to me. If you all don't, you all don't agree, go to the supermarket and buy the tomatoes that you like. But this is what I had growing fresh in the garden. I'm so proud of my little garden. And it's little, but it's mine. All right, let me get a couple of these. Take these stems off. See, I got the stems still on them. I'm just gonna cut these in half. Man, this knife is not sharp enough. Oh man. All right, I'll use this one. I'm just cutting them in half. Some of them I'll cut into quarters if they're big enough. Just cutting them up. Just enough for them to break down. Look at that, they're cute. Look at that, how cute that is. So I was telling you guys the first time I had this was in Louisiana. I was in a little town called Marksville, about an hour away from Alexandria, Louisiana. And I was visiting some friends down there, and I forget her name, but she cooked this. She was cooking it for her son and she gave us some. And I was like, oh my God, this is the best one I had. And then we went to the mall. Me, her, and her daughter, and her daughter and I went to the mall and we had some from the mall in Alexandria, Louisiana. And it was not as good. It was not good at all. Compared to hers, nope. I was a little irritated. I didn't even want to pay. I was like, well, I paid for it, but I didn't. I felt like I got ripped off after I tasted hers and tasted the store-bought kind. There's our tomatoes right there. I was upset. Wasting money. Cook your own food that usually tastes better. So I'm going to throw this in the sink because we are done chopping everything up. Time to make our roux. So some people saute their vegetables and then put some flour in there, but that is not the way I was taught. That is not the traditional way of making roux. So I'm gonna get a frying pan out there. We are going to brown our flour, cook our flour down and make it really like a chocolatey brown. Now, if you burn your roux, you gotta start over and make a new roux. But that's another reason why I do not do it with my vegetables, because first of all, it's not a brown roux usually. It's a blonde roux, which I don't want. I want a brown roux, brown. Jamaica, they call it browning, and Jamaica's browning is actually burnt flour, which you do not want in Cajun food. You want it to make it look like a little bit darker than a peanut butter. The darker you could get it without burning it, the better it tastes. So let's get to it, all right? I'm gonna get some oil. I'm using grapeseed oil. You can use vegetable oil, which is normally what they use, or you can use butter. I recommend if you use butter that you get clarified butter, which is called ghee, because that has the solids removed. Some people add butter to their mixture because it makes it taste richer. Oh, I should have measured that. So what I'm doing is about a 1/4 cup of oil. And then I'm gonna do a 1/4 cup of flour. Hopefully I put enough oil in there because I did not measure it. Being bad, I did not measure as usual. It's third, here's a 1/4 cup. So here's a 1/4 cup of flour. It's supposed to be equal parts. I guesstimated how much oil I put in there. Now that your flour is in the mixture, what you want to make sure is that, I don't want to use metal, is that you do not leave this roux until it cools down and the fire's off. Even when the fire's off, it's still browning and it can still burn on you. Get closer so you can see. Right now it's just flour, right? And we are going to get this stuff brown. Let me put a little bit more flour in there. Yeah, Jamaica, use your hand. Yeah. I'm kind of old school. Old school people, cooks, did not measure everything. Even chefs don't measure. They use their eyeball. They tell you to do that because they don't want you to mess the dish up. But old school, I remember I went down to Mississippi and this old lady, she was making some pancake mix for her daughter, and she just opened up under her sink and she had a tin in the doorway of her sink, and she just grabbed handfuls of stuff, mixed it up, and sent it on. Sent it on to her daughter's house. Ready-made pancake mix. There wasn't no measurements. And that's how I learned. You know, I used to ask my grandma, how much of this you put in there? She said enough. You just put enough. You make sure you taste it at, you taste it at the right time. You don't taste it before it's time, but ooh, I could smell the flour. I could smell the flour starting to do its thing. You see, I keep on moving it, right? You keep this flour moving until it gets to the consistency that you want. or not the consistency to the color that you want. This still has that floury taste to it. And you don't want that. Nobody wants, everybody needs to do a dark roux, or everybody needs to learn how to do a dark roux. And I have it on high right now, but I'm going to turn it down in the middle. Once it starts getting brown a little bit, and I start getting scared like I'm going to burn it, I'm turning that flame down. You see, I keep on moving it around. Another thing you need to do is be careful with this, because you do not want this stuff to spill on you. It's like napalm. You don't want it to spill on you. I'm going to keep moving it around. Look at that. Starting to get a little bit dark. See that? Starting to move around. Turn this down to about 6. Starting to smell it toasty. Starting to toast on you. See that? I know you can't see the difference, but I can. It's starting to darken up. As I said, you gotta be careful. Don't let it burn. And if I burn it, guess what? We're gonna start over again. I'm turning it down to 4. I am in no rush. Can't rush your roux. Because if you do, unless you know what you're doing, you're going to have to start over again, and that's a waste of time. You might as well have done it right the first time. Do not rush your roux. This bird wants to be in this pot. That's what he wants. He wants to be in the pot, because I can't leave. I'm doing a roux. I can't leave the pot. He's got me over a barrel. Or he's got me over a roux, because I am not going to let my roux mess up. Let me go and fuss at him and zip in and zip out. I'll be right back until I have a talk with them, because they know my voice. It was getting too dark for me. I got scared and I moved it off the flame just because the oil is hot. So the oil is going to continue to cook this stuff. Look, it looks like peanut butter now, which is perfect. I just want to get it as dark as I possibly can. I want a little bit darker than peanut butter. You don't want to break it though. I don't want to break it. I don't want to do it again. I don't want to break it. I don't want to lose you, Rue. I love you as you are. I don't want to lose you. I couldn't love you more. Now that's an oldie but goodie, right? I don't even know who sang that. I forget who sang that. There's your roux. Look at that. Isn't that pretty? Let's not break it though. I'm turning it, taking it on and off the flame, because I am not well versed in this thing, and I don't like starting over. I want to do it right one time, and that's it. Okay, I'm moving it back on. It's easy for me because I got a glass top, right? I have it on 2 now. 2, number 2. Look at that, pretty, 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 pretty. Here we go. Look at that. It is beautiful. Beautiful. That's what you are. Okay. Why is this thing is still hot too? I'm moving it on one thing, and this eye is still hot also. Move it off. Take it off the flame. Keep on moving. Turn that off. There we are. We got a pretty roux. Now, some people could probably get it darker than this. And I applaud you. You know why? Because I'm not going any further. What I'm doing is I'm putting my vegetables in because I'm a scaredy cat. And that's going to cool this roux down. That's going to cool this bad boy down so I don't burn it. Now, some people would have browned the flour in the vegetables. Ooh, it smells good. So now we're going to turn our flame back on and we're going to brown it a little bit more with the vegetables on there. Keep this thing moving around. Make sure I get all my vegetables in there. So I didn't have enough celery sauce, so I want to make sure I get as much as I possibly can in there. Isn't that pretty? Now I made gumbo for some Jamaicans, and man, they loved it. I knew they would, because first of all, it's got the peppery hot stuff in it, but it's a different taste. It's not like our browning, even though browning is flour, but our browning is burnt flour. It's bitter. This is different. This is better. Well, not better. It's just different. Because Jamaican food is good. But Louisiana, Cajun, Creole food, very good. You just have to make sure you have the time to do it, because you see how long it took me to get the shrimp done, the fresh shrimp, because it's better with fresh shrimp. You go and get that cooked stuff, they done boiled and took all the flavor out of that shrimp. You're better off getting your shrimp. And I wish I could have got the shrimp with the heads on it. But I got as close as I could with the shells. So there we are. We have that done, right? And I'm trying and wait till my onion becomes translucent. They're close. But we're going to keep on moving this stuff around until it basically dehydrates down to half of its size. Now, there was something that I did not put in here that I have to, is the tomatoes. Here's the tomatoes. We're going to break those bad boys down also. What you're doing is you're building your flavors. Building them. Last thing you want to see is a bunch of tomato in your étouffée. You don't want to see this. And this is the first time I'm making étouffée, by the way. But I'm a good cook. I'm not a chef yet. Make sure you get your fond. That's what that's called when it gets the stuff that sticks to the bottom. See that? That stuff sticking to the bottom, that's called fond. Get that up off of there. You don't want that to burn. You don't want to get rid of it, because that's where all your flavor lies, in the fond. So we're going to keep on moving. I'm going to take these garlic. I'm not going to put the garlic in yet. Wait for these tomatoes to break down a little bit more. And you wonder why I'm chopping, because all of this stuff, you're not supposed to be able to recognize nothing. It's supposed to be a sauce. The only thing you're supposed to be able to recognize in the étouffée is the shrimp. All of this becomes a red sauce. Get this fond up off of this pan. Keep on moving. Keep on moving. I gotta go back to Louisiana. A lot of people go to Louisiana because they want to go to New Orleans, but there's a lot of places in Louisiana that are good to visit. Go and get your boudin and your étouffée, and oh my gosh. If you can go to a butching, which is where somebody kills a pig and everybody chops up and they make crackling and they make all kind of stuff at the butching. The women go inside and make the boudin, and man, it's like a feast. And everybody who participates in the butching takes a piece of the hog or the pig. We need to start doing that in Texas because we got a definite problem with wild hogs. And there we are. We're scratching up the fun. We're getting this stuff chopped down to minced meats. We don't want to see none of the skin, none of that stuff. All of that stuff needs to disappear. Here's my garlic. I'm going to put that in. The reason why I put the garlic in last is because I do not like burnt garlic. Nobody else does either. So garlic should be the last thing you put in. Fresh garlic, that is. Scrape it. Keep on moving it. The first time I had it, this is what we call it in Jamaica, yam. You know, yamming up all the food. This lady had cooked it for her son, and she decided to give us some. And man, I was so smitten with the food. Greedy for the food. And you can't eat a lot of this stuff because it has flour in it. And flour expands, so you taste it and you're like, oh my God, this is so good. And all of a sudden, you make yourself a bowl, and then you feel like, excuse me, then you feel like you're gonna pop because this stuff has flour in it. It's like eating bread. So remember that when you're eating it, pace yourself. You don't want to waste it. As hard as this stuff is to make, you do not want to waste it. So there we go. Keep this stuff moving around. Look at that. Scrape it up. Make sure we get all of this stuff off and none of it gets burnt. Keep on moving it around. So you see that's done, right? Now we need to go and strain some of our, our thing off, our stock, shrimp stock. Let me pull this camera up. Now to strain the stock off and put it into this pan. So I'm gonna turn this flame off and keep this thing moving around. Keep on trying to get the fond off the bottom because I do not want anything to burn. Take this off the fire. All right, where's my strainer? Jamaica, you should have had that already. So here is my stock. And I am pouring that down into the pot. You see that? I don't want any of that stuff. I just want that. So we're gonna move that around, right? Now it's gonna turn into a boil. Make sure you get all your fond off, right? Turn the flame back on. Now let me add some seasoning. So I'm gonna use my regular seasoning, the seasoning that I made. And I'm gonna take a couple of scoops out of this. A regular tablespoon, right? Put that in there. Mix it into the mixture. The shrimp is gonna be the last thing we add. The last thing. Shrimp only take 1 to 2 minutes to cook. Now I have to get this off of the spoon. So you're gonna keep mixing because you do not want a lumpy gravy. You do not want that. You do not want that. Isn't that pretty? Let me pull you down so you can see it. Turn this light on. Look at that. So now, this stuff is still like napalm. Remember that. So we're going to get a little spoon and we're going to do a taste test. I'm going to put some slap your mama in. I know it's not enough seasoning in there, but... All right. So I'm going to take this, right? Yeah. It needs some slap your mama. So I'm going to take some slap your mama. About that much. That's a teaspoon. And put that in there. I'm going to mix it in. All of the used stuff is going to go into this pot. The last thing you want to do is put a lot of seasoning in here without tasting it. So you're going to mix that in, right? And we're going to taste it again. Almost. One more little handful. Or slap your mama. Or your favorite Cajun seasoning. That's about a teaspoon, okay? Put that in. And I put it right on top of the thing instead of in the pot. Now I'm mad at myself. Do not double dip. Once you use a spoon, throw it into the dirty stash and get a fresh spoon. Always. You have germs. Even though this stuff is hot, you just make sure that you don't put any bacteria in here that is not already in the pot. Besides, some people freak out when they see a cook do that. So, fresh, clean spoon, a little bit on there. Okay, I still need some more. It's not hot enough for me. Where's my cayenne? That's paprika. Cayenne. Hot thing, barely 21. Hot thing, looking for big fun. You know what this thing is missing? Salt. So let me get some salt instead of putting a lot of slap your mama in there. This is sea salt that I put in a jar. Put this over here just in case I make an accident. A little bit of salt. That's too much. Put that much in there. Look at that. Look at that. So, I need to make some rice, or you can make some cheesy grits. I like it with grits, but I don't want to make any grits because I'm the only one who likes grits. So, I'm going to make some rice, and it's easy to make rice. I'll show you. So, we're going to let this thing boil down. Okay, I have it on a low heat now. And I'm going to have to drip some in my hand because I ran out of spoons. Look at that. Beautiful. That's what you are. Good. Perfect. A little bit of cayenne for good measure because I'm being bad. All right, let's make our rice. This is gonna boil for a little while until it boils down. I'm gonna keep mixing it while I'm making the rice. So let's get to it. First thing we're gonna do is gonna get the rice out. We're gonna wash it. By washing it, I mean rinse it off at least 3 to 4 times until the water turns clear. Maybe more than that, depending on what rice you have. I use parboiled rice. Normally people use jasmine or parboiled, but it's up to you. If you like sticky rice, it's good for you, but normally I like rice that's grainy, so I am going to use parboiled rice, okay? So I let Rudy out, right? I'm stuck to the drawer. And he's hollering out there, but it's okay. It's okay, because I'll deal with him later after I finish dinner. So I don't want my sauce to break, and it looked like it wanted to just for a second. Breaking means that the oil and the flour separates. While I was washing the rice, it almost broke. I'm going to put this over here with the dirty stuff. Keep on mixing. Let me pull you closer so you can see. Rinse the rice off, and rice is a 2-to-1 ratio. I usually use a little bit less water. So what I mean in 2-to-1, if you use 1 cup of rice, you should use approximately 2 cups of water, right? So I'm going to put this rice on here. I didn't put any salt in there, and I need to. Put this rice on here, and I'll put about that much salt. No, less than that. Not a big salt person. Enough salt on there for it to taste decent. He's just exercising his lungs like he knows that will put him in prison. So I'm mixing my mixture for my étouffée. This is the étouffée mixture minus the shrimp. And remember, the last thing you put into a dish is the one that's going to be most prominent in the dish. Let me let y'all see me. So if you put you put shrimp in last, shrimp is going to be the prevailing taste in the dish. If I put a bunch of onions in here last, that would take, it wouldn't overpower the shrimp, but you would definitely taste the onions. So here we go. I need to turn this down because it's way too high. That's why the sauce is trying to break on me. And I can tell by looking at it. It gets this glistening, like somebody gets, when they get ready to cry, their eyes, or they're mad, they're really mad, their eyes get all glassy. That's how your roux is going to look if it's getting ready to break. Or your sauce is going to look if it's getting ready to break. So turn it down. Pull the temperature down. Calm the sauce down like you would calm an angry person down, or a person that's really upset. Try to calm them down. Calm your gravy for your étouffée or your gumbo down. Do not let it break. Even though this rooster is out there raising H-E-double-L. All right. So we got it down to about where I want it to be, right? I'm just waiting for my oven. So I'm gonna bring this to a boil. I'm gonna bring my oven to 400 degrees. I need to turn this down a little bit more. I wanna bring my oven up to 400 degrees. After this starts boiling, I stick it in the oven for 15 minutes and it's done. The rice is perfectly done. I'm gonna cover it with a piece of foil and it'll be done. Done. So I got my stuff mixing. I'm turning this on low because it's pretty much done. I need to get another spoon and do a taste test. Running out of spoons. Now I got down to the teaspoons. So look, I didn't put anything on there. It's just the remnants. Now that's good. That's good. I still want a little bit more. Slap your mama though. A little bit more. Throw this in the sink. Get a new one. You have to taste your food as you go along, or it's not going to taste right. All right, here we go. That's good. That's really good. I don't know if it's as good as hers was, because she was like, she'd been raised in Louisiana and learned from her mama, but I think I did pretty good. Okay. Bring this down. So I have this on low. I'm gonna get some aluminum foil. You can either use aluminum foil or a lid. Because I'm putting it on the top of my oven and it doesn't have a lot of room there, I'm gonna cover it with some foil. Foil is not good for you. Don't let it touch your food. They say it causes Alzheimer's, but I'm just putting it on the top of the pot. So that should be good to go. Make sure I didn't forget anything. That should be good to go. Just waiting for this oven to get up to 400. You get a little bit of butter. Get a little bit of butter. Put that in my rice. And because I'm being special, I'm gonna put a little bit in the étouffée. That makes it extra good. I don't know, butter makes everything taste better. I got it up to 400. I'm gonna cover my pot. Just enough. Some people say stick a hole in it. Stick a hole in the foil. You do not have to. Open the oven up. Don't rush because you might spill something on yourself. Jamaica. And we're going to pick this up, right? Cover it up, right? We're going to put this in the oven. Set your oven for 15 minutes. Back at the ranch, we're going to mix this butter in. Because butter makes everything taste better. I don't know. It's unsalted butter. And I know it makes stuff taste better. I know, because I know. All right. Look at that. Look at that. Let's keep on cooking. Keep on cooking our étouffée mixture. I'm thinking it's lumps, but it's not. That's garlic. Garlic and onion. I'm like, what are these lumps? I should not have any lumps. It's not lumps. Now, when I put the shrimp in here, the shrimp is going to make it a little watery. The shrimp in the refrigerator. Chilling out in the refrigerator. I'm going to put the shrimp into the sauce. Very last thing. It's the very last thing in the dish. It's the star of the show. Turn this up a little bit. Look, you listening to him? He's going out to the country tomorrow. Que sera, sera. I do not like noise. He's doing it on purpose. He must have heard me. Oh, every time I say that, the doggone thing make one noise. I heard that. I'm a crow again. Just because I know you talking about me. Look at that. I'm so excited. Look at that. move it. Y'all all right. I got the small burner on. Let me turn the big burner on. This is bringing back fond memories. Memories like the corners of my mind. Misty watercolored memories of the way the Étouffée was. Woo, man, that is the devil outside. The devil. The devil is trying to work on my nerves. There we are. You do not want to overcook your shrimp. And you want to watch it because it's making a little bit watery, but that's okay. It'll boil down. How come? Okay, there goes my fire. Where is the fire? That's what I was asking myself, but it's there. And what you don't want to do is overcook your shrimp. That's a mistake that a lot of people make. And I can tell that this is almost completely done. Okay, I'm going to turn my fire off. And I'll be back when the rice is done. Okay, and the last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to cut up some green onion in here. I got about 20 seconds on my rice before I pull it out of the oven. I'll show you that too. That's the easiest thing to make. I learned that in school, put it in the oven. I was like, what? I looked at the chef like he was crazy. I was like, what? He said, put it in the oven for 15 minutes on 400 and leave it there. Pull it out, it'll be perfect rice. What? He was right. I think he was Cajun he was Cajun for yeah, he was a Cajun guy. Curly, brownish, sandy, brownish hair. And he could eat, but he was so skinny. A lot of chefs become overweight, but he wasn't one of them. That's because he had a garden in the front of the school. And he would pick fresh herbs. There's your rice right there. I just pulled the foil off. Look at that. Perfect rice. I'll get a spoon to make, or a fork to make a look at it. And get my gloves. Don't forget that this thing is hot from the oven. Do not touch the handle. Look at that. Perfect rice. Perfect. All right. Turn this around so I don't forget. I don't want to burn myself. Because I have burned myself before with that. Let me get the rest of this green onion chopped up and mixed in. And the green onion just adds a little rustic taste to it. You don't have to put this in. I recommend that you do. Don't put too much in, like Jamaica's getting ready to do. Let's see. All right, I'm gonna plate it up, and y'all are gonna be so proud of Jamaica. Kiss the cook. Remember to kiss the cook, because cooking is not easy and it's a lot of work, especially when you're doing everything from scratch. So remember, man or woman, whoever cooks for you, give them a kiss on the cheek. You don't gotta be all, sexy with it. Just give them a kiss on the cheek and say thank you. Thank you for cooking for me, because it is not easy and it's summertime. It's hot. Or even if they're barbecuing, that's cooking. Kiss the cook. Tell them thank you. Show your appreciation. Now, if it's somebody's husband, don't kiss them. Just say thank you. Thank you. But, if you're intimate, or it's your mama or your daddy or your, somebody that is not going to take the wrong way, kiss the cook on the cheek. Say thank you for cooking. All right? Don't do it to nobody's boyfriend, girlfriend, husband, wife. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't say that Jamaica told you to do that, because I am not responsible for what's going to happen next. It is not going to be pretty. So let's go and see what it looked like. I'm going to put it on the plate. It's going to be pretty. Just a second. Take our plate. The moment of truth. Take this and put this in a pot. Moment of truth. Chico, quiet. Cyrus, Philomena, bedtime. 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 I don't hear you going up the stairs. There we are. Okay, so I have my étouffée here. I'm gonna mix it back up. What I'm gonna do is get a spoon, right? I'm gonna take some étouffée. We're gonna put it on the plate. Make sure you get some shrimp. Make sure you get some shrimp. We're gonna get some rice. Put it in the bowl. Put it in the bowl. Should have did the rice first. And quickly, flip it over. Didn't work. Ah. I tried, everybody. I tried so hard to make it on my own. All right, where's my scissors? Jamaica, you so loud. For someone who don't like noise, you make a lot of noise, girl. All right, let's finish this thing off. You get a little bit more shrimp. So I got it like that. Right. Cover everything up because I let flies in going after that chicken. Turn this off. Turn the light off. And I'm going to chop off a little bit of green onion and put it on top. Everything likes everything to look pretty, right? Clean the plate off. Presentation is everything, right? Some people have this with grits. I have had it with grits in New Orleans. But the best one I've ever had was in Marksville, Louisiana, made by this lady. I think her maiden name was Lewis. It was awesome. Awesome. Anyway, here we are. Shrimp étouffée. For the Cajuns and the Creoles out there, I know I didn't have enough celery, but we'll see. Let's get a taste, huh? I'm trying. I'm trying. I'm Jamaica. Okay. All right, here we go. Moment of truth. Let's see if I could even, you know, say that this is the right one. Here we are. It looks right, doesn't it? Everything's hot. That is good. But not having enough celery, or not having the right type of celery, because I use the celery salt that I made, that is recognizable. So this is Jamaica. I just made shrimp étouffée with rice. You can use this with grits. If you're gonna do it with grits, put some cheese in them grits, because that's gonna be good. Some people would also put a piece of bread on the side with some butter. Kiss the cook. That's all I gotta say. Don't assault anybody though. Don't kiss me. Unless I say you can. And there's very few people. So I thank you for your time. I thank you for being with me. This is shrimp étouffée. Do it. You'll love it. I'll see you on the next one, all right? Remember to take care of yourself and cook your own food. Everything from the garden, well, almost everything. Everything I could came from the garden. You all take care. I'll see you again. Bye.